Same time, you were smart enough to even hold it down with a day job as a security guard in a high school.
In Andrew Jackson High School. From my first in 1989, we got the call to do Yo MTV Raps. Fab Five Freddy started in 1988. They wanted to do a daily show in 99. Fab turned it down, thinking that he would be overexposed. Thank you, Fab. Yeah. Ted Demme, the late great Ted Demme, who directed Life. He directed a lot of stuff with Michael J. Fox. He directed a lot of Dennis Leary's stuff. The Ref was a friend of mine from church, actually. His parents were Episcopalian.
Ted Demme.
Ted Demme.
And you grew up in church together?
I knew Ted Demme from high school.
Wow.
His parents were Episcopalian. My best friend, Kurt Flirt, from Power 105, his mother was Episcopalian. So when they went on the church retreats and shit, they used to take me all the time because I'm Kurt's best friend. So Kurt had something to do. So they take me and we meet this white kid named Ted Demme. And he knew hip hop the way we knew hip hop. And we go down in the church basement and drink all the communion wine and smoke weed.
That communion wine is delicious, B.
Shit, that Manischewitz is everything.
Manischewitz, B.
You know, one time we stole Ted's father's car and went joyriding. So we just kept in touch. And all through high school and when he went to Cortland State, we just kept in touch. So when I was watching MTV as a friend's house, because I didn't have it in my house yet, we had WHT, Mecca Home Theater. This little box used to show movies sometime. Yeah, WHT. So when I looked and I saw the name Ted Demme on the end of a promo, I was like, yo, Kurt, Ted works at MTV? He was like, yeah. And then when I saw the pilot show for Yo MTV Raps, which Run DMC hosted, and Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince was on, and they were on tour. And that show went through the fucking roof when it aired. And I saw it produced by Ted Demme and Peter Doherty. I started hitting that phone crazy. Ted, you gotta let me on this show. You gotta let me do a record report. You gotta let me do something, a movie review or something. Nobody knows more about hip hop than me. You gotta let me do this shit. So when Fab said no, Ted called me and said, hey, they're doing auditions for the shit. So I was like, okay. He told me the day to come down. So I walk in and they put me in like an office to wait. And I walk in and Dre is sitting there. Right? And,
is that your first time meeting Dre?
That's my first time I met Dre. And, I knew him from Original Concept, but I didn't put... Knowledge Me, man. I didn't put the two and two together. And he was on Adelphi Radio with Chuck and Flavor and Spectrum City and all of that. So when I walked in, he said, what's up, yo? I'm Dr. Dre. I was like, yeah, nigga, good. Right? So, I didn't pay him no attention. I'm like, this dude's all full of himself. Fuck that. I'm about to go in here and get this job. So, Peter Doherty, who was executive producer, knew Dre. There was a Yo before Yo MTV Raps. It was in England. And there was a young lady by the name of Sophie Bromley that hosted the Yo in England. And they showed a little block of hip hop videos, but only in England. Peter had spent some time over there. Ted was pushing MTV to go black and capture hip hop at its essence. And, Ted and Peter were like, let's do it. And they gave him that pilot. That pilot had the best ratings they had ever had damn near on the MTV. They commissioned Fab. They said, we want a daily show because Fab show took off immediately. And I went in audition. Dre went in audition. And Ted said, I need a different aesthetic for the daily show because it's an in-studio show than Freddie. Why don't y'all two audition together? And I said to Dre, what's your background? He said, well, I'm Jamaican and American. I said, well, me and man can speak with a Jamaican accent and a bomba club. Right? So Dre did his accent. I did my accent. Ted filmed it, took it in, and they said, go.
Now, who were some of the other people, do you remember, that were auditioning for the show?
The only person I saw at that audition was Dre. But from what I understand, there was thousands of people that came in. And they said, we like this Abbott and Costello looking shit that we got here. And they said $1,000 a week. And
that's good money back then.
No, split. Split between Dre and I. Split. And Dre said, I'll take 5. I was like, I got 5 because I'm working for school safety. I got a city job. I make $723.56 every 2 weeks. I'm good. I live in my mom's crib.
Was caking.
So that's how it happened. And then we got on. We had no dressing room. We had nothing. We used to step actually behind the set and change our clothes because what we didn't do, we never saw the videos. We would just lead to them. We never sat there and watched the whole video. So Ted would go, Bust a Move is coming up by Young MC, and me and Dre would do our thing. Hey, welcome to Food Day or Exercise Day. What's happening? I'm Ed Lover and I'm Dr. Dre. Yeah, and then we talk some shit, and then Ted would go lead to the video. Okay, this is Bust a Move by Young MC. and the Daily Show took off. In less than a year, we were on for an hour a day.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, before Yo and Yo MTV Raps, the only thing we had was Video Music Box.
Yeah, in New York.
Which was revolutionary. And even at the time, Run DMC's Rock Box was the first rap video that ever aired on MTV.
Yeah.
Because MTV had this practice. They had like this discriminatory practice of programming. They didn't want to put on black artists. They didn't want to put on rap artists. So did you have any idea how revolutionary Yo MTV Raps is going to be?
No, because you're just doing it. MTV wouldn't even show Michael Jackson video until Sony threatened them to pull all their videos off. They never showed anything off from the Off the Wall album, which is probably one of Mike's greatest works. And then when they did Thriller, they were still hesitant. So Sony went and was like, listen, you don't show Michael's video, we're not playing anything. We're not giving you any Sony artists. And they had some of the biggest artists in the world. So MTV would have died without Sony's artists. So they put Michael's stuff on. But when we started doing Yo MTV Raps, I had no idea that it was the show it was. I'm going to tell you when I found out that it was the show it was. Dre and I got brought in to host a show in Detroit, Michigan, at the Joe Louis Arena. NWA was on the show. The same thing that y'all saw in Straight Outta Compton, Dre and I hosted that show. Okay? So I'm backstage with Dre and I'm like, oh my God, nobody knows who the fuck we are. This is Detroit. Like, only white boys got Yo MTV Raps and where they live at. No, and the guy said, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your host for the night from Yo MTV Raps, Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. And we stepped out and they went fucking nuts. And I was like, oh my God. Like, we are really, really on to something. Like, this shit has taken over. It's like people run home to watch this every day. And at that same show, I was standing on the side of the stage, right down like by the front, and Cube decided to do Fuck the Police, when they had said that they weren't doing Fuck the Police. And that bop, bop, bop you heard when they ran off the stage was the cops lighting M80s and threw them on the stage. I was standing right there. I was standing next to the fucking cop when he did it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was crazy. Man. That was in Detroit in Joe Louis Arena.
Not only were you guys revolutionary on air, but during Yo's run, MTV hired a lot of black people behind the scenes as well.
Yeah,
right?
They did. Todd One came in, and then Penny McDonald and Moses Edinburgh and Jack Benson and all of these people started working there. But what a lot of people don't know is that Dre, myself, Ted, and Fab programmed the show. We played what we wanted to play. Right. As long as it cleared, we programmed it. Knowing what I know now, I wish I would have known back then in 89, 90. I didn't know the FCC didn't regulate it. So I could have sat back and went, all right, Russell, if I don't get $100,000, I ain't playing no more Def Jam shit.
Payola.
I could have took payola, but I didn't know. We were so happy to be there. We were such fans of the music. We were never trying to be bigger than the artists that we brought on the show. I was never trying to wear a bigger chain than Big Daddy Kane. For me to meet Kane and Rakim and Chuck D and have Run DMC that was from my neighborhood come through and have Nas come through and have all of these artists come through to my show meant so much to me. But I had no idea. When you're living in the moment, you don't know what's going on. You're just living and enjoying it.
Right. You're right, man. Now, coming from New York, I was very East Coast centric. I was very, very close-minded to shit that was even in Philly or Jersey. So I didn't really have any type of appreciation for music that was coming out of the South, music that was coming out of the West. Like, were you from the same mindset and that changed?
Yeah, for me, everything was bullshit. If it wasn't New York, if it wasn't Rakim or Kane or KRS-One or one of them, to me, it was God. I remember the first time, and I always tell Too Short this story. I remember the first time Life is Too Short cleared. And they said, y'all can play this. And we was in Ted's office, and Ted said, I got this new video from this kid out of Oakland. His album is called Born to Mac. His name is Too Short. Check out the video. And we sitting there. He comes on, I remember how it all began. I used to say dirty raps to all my friends back then. Sir Too Short comes straight from Oakland, California, home of the rock. I'm like, what the fuck is this rap? This shit is trash. ABC, rhyming ass. You had Kane, let it roll, get bold. It just can't hold back and forth. Another man with soul. And we used to people flipping. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, this shit is trash. But what we did was we took the music from one hood and we gave it to another hood. You know what I mean? Like, you had regional video shows, but nobody knew what was going on in Compton until we brought it to you. Nobody knew how Oakland was thorough as fuck until we told you it was thorough as fuck, because we brought Too Short and NWA and Ice-T and all of these people to the forefront so that the world could see. And we weren't a United States show. We were all over the world. Dre and I stepped off the plane in Japan. There was 25,000 people waiting at the airport to see us. That's how big Your MTV Raps was. It didn't just show in the United States. It showed, I meet guys from Nigeria, my brother. Oh my God, hello there. Oh, listen, I learned to speak English because of you, my friend. Like, that's all they had. You know, like Wisconsin and Idaho didn't get rap on the radio. We barely got it. You know that?
Yes.
We had Red Alert and Marley Marl and
Chuck Chill Out.
Right, one time a week. And then late night Friday, late night Saturday. These other places got no radio. No hip hop on the radio. I remember WBLS in New York?
Yes.
It was like WBLS, no rap. No rap.
No rap.
Yeah, they wasn't fucking with it. So their outlet was Your MTV Raps.
You know, what's crazy, and I was just thinking about it today when I was putting my notes together. You know, this is 20 years before the internet. This is years before social media. This is years before Black Twitter. You guys were all of that. You guys were the internet.
I wish we had Twitter and
but you guys were that.
MySpace and Facebook and
no, you don't. Not back then. Not back then.
0.8 million followers. I could have monetized that shit. Word. It's crazy.
Yo, talk about the more comfortable you got on MTV, eventually y'all started getting censored.
Yeah, we got comfortable when we got a contract.
Right.
For the first 2.5 years of Your MTV Raps, Dre and I had no contract. They could have fired us and said, we getting out of here any moment. We were making $500 a week a piece. We went in, we signed with Leo and Russell and Rush Management. Leo
they were managing y'all?
Yeah. Leo walked in.
As VJs.
As VJs. Leo walked in and put the numbers in front of him, and we all walked in together and we talked about it, and Leo said, you guys step outside for a minute. They did give us a little bump. The second year we went up to $750 a week apiece. Leo walked in the third year, and we had a meeting, and Leo asked us to walk outside. I mean, stay outside, wait in the lobby for him to finish.
Why did he ask you to walk outside?
Because Leo was doing Leo. And if anybody knows Leo Cohen, Leo's your motherfucking mother sucker. You know, Leo cursed him out. So Leo's with the head of MTV and people, and he asked us to wait outside. We wait outside, and about half an hour later, Leo walks out with this long face. And I'm like, oh shit, Leo done walked in there, Dre, we got fired. And we walk to the elevator, we get in the elevator, and Leo looks at both of us and said, motherfuckers, you owe me. I just got you $250,000 a year apiece.
What?
Leo is a beast, man.
Yeah, of course.
Leo, you know Leo.
Yeah, Leo's a beast.
Leo's a beast.
So two questions in one, man.
That was the end of my job, too, as a security officer.
That's when you quit?
I didn't quit. They actually fired me because I wasn't coming to work.
Yo, how were you doing Yo MTV Raps and going to be a security guard at a high school?
Because a lot of people at the time in the hood didn't have MTV.
That's right.
So they didn't know. But once it started exploding and cable started going into the hood and people started knowing that I was on Your MTV Raps, I had to take off every Thursday because that's when we shot Your MTV Raps.
Right.
So, when you work in the city, they just can't fire you.
Right.
I have rap and, I'm in the union and shit. So, we got to have a hearing. So we go to the hearing, and I'm
telling hearing.
Yeah, at downtown in New York City. I'm at the hearing, and I'm like, listen, this could be good for y'all because I'm taking Uzis and handguns and 45s off of kids in the school. I was like, if I blow up on Your MTV Raps, that's something positive for them to see.
Right.
City wasn't hearing it. So they had another hearing, and Ted had scheduled us to go to L.A. at the same time. I didn't show up at the hearing. I got fired.
He's like, fuck that hearing.
I'm like, fuck y'all and y'all $723.56 every 2 weeks.
And you never look back.
Never look back.
Yo MTV became so popular that not only the rappers wanted to be on, but like top superstars wanted to be on. You had Bill Cosby on.
That was a funny story. He called my house.
Bill Cosby called your house?
Yeah, he called MTV looking.
Did you believe it was him?
No, he called MTV looking for me. I got home and I was living in Jersey City and there was you remember the answering machine? And there's a message on my answering machine that somebody from the Cosby Show called here. Bill Cosby's trying to find you. Call this number back. So first I called back to Ted's office. I said, Ted, Bill Cosby? Yeah, the Cosby Show. Bill Cosby's looking for you.
That's at the top of his
game. Right. Call the number. So I was like, shit. And I remember I was like, okay, let me call Silver Cup Studios in Queens and make sure that this is the number.
Right.
And somebody ain't bullshit.
Right.
So I called Silver Cup, and Silver Cup was like, no, yeah, that's the number for Mr. Cosby. Absolutely, for Mr. Cosby's office. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, do I call Bill Cosby back or don't I? Because I remember Eddie Murphy saying, Bill Cosby only calls you for 2 reasons. Either he likes what you're doing or he thinks you're embarrassing the black race and he's going to tell you about yourself. So I'm like, damn, am I buffooning on your MTV Raps? Like, let me call him back. So I called the number and a young lady picked up the phone. I said, hi, this is Ed Lover. Somebody from the Cosby Show called you. She said, yeah, Mr. Cosby want to talk to you. Hold on. And put me on hold. I'm like, Bill Cosby is not going to pick up this phone. I'm going to talk to somebody else, and he comes right on line. Ed, how you doing? Bill Cosby, how are you? And I go, I'm good, Mr. Cosby. No, don't call me Mr. Cosby. You call me Bill. And I'm like, uh-oh, here it comes. He goes, listen, man, my daughter, I got a daughter named Erin, man, and all the time she's here and she always tells me, Daddy, you got to see the Yo MTV Raps thing with the rappers and the hip hop and the boobity beep boop. And you got to check this thing out, Daddy. It's funny. And he says, and I'm in my dressing room, man, and my daughter's there and she's got it on. And you come out and you're doing this character and you got the tape on, your glasses on, and you got the tape in the middle and you got on like this hunting coat and a hat. I said, yeah,
it's saying all of this.
Yeah, I said, this is a character I invented called Perry J. Periwinkle III that talks like this, sir. And he goes, man, and I watched it and man, I couldn't stop laughing. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Man, you're a funny guy. So listen, I'm going to come on your show. And then I'm going to have you on my show. And I'm like, you coming to your MTV Raps? He's like, yeah, I'm going to come down there and I'm going to spend some time with you and the fat guy, Dr. Dre. And he's just a scratching and he's hilarious. And he came and did a week's worth of shows with us. And then he had me on the Cosby Show. And the first time, I was on the Cosby Show twice. The first time I played a cab driver.
Right.
And that's the first time. And that's the one y'all didn't see. Because I'm telling my entire generation, I'm going to be on the Cosby Show. The Tuesday before the Cosby Show, he calls me back. Hey, it's Bill. Hey, Mr. Cosby, how you doing? Don't call me Mr. Cosby, call me Bill. I'm like, Bill, how you doing? Ed, I got bad news for you. The show ran too long and we had to cut you out. And I'm like, I done told every motherfucker humanly possible. This is the #1 show on television. You like 35, 40 million people every week is watching the Cosby Show, and I'm going to be on it, and my shit get cut? Oh, man, I was distraught. He said, don't worry about it. We're going to have you back. And I'm like, okay, Mr. Cosby, thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I hung up the phone. Bill Cosby ain't never calling me back. Month later, phone rings. It's Bill Cosby. Ed, you ready to come do the show again? I'm like, yeah. Have my assistant call you. We'll send a card for you. Come do the show. So I go in on a Monday, and they do a thing called a table read. And you're sitting around and everybody's there. It's Felicia Rashad and Malcolm Jamal Warner and Raven Simone was a little girl and Lisa Bonet. Like all of these people that I fucking watched every week and I idolized. And Bill Cosby goes, and, you know, he says everybody's name and then he goes, and ladies and gentlemen, our good friend Ed Lover is back with us again. And everybody claps and he goes, Ed, you're good in this show this time. No way we're cutting you out because you are playing the doctor. And I go, what? I'm playing the doctor? He goes, no, motherfucker, you're a cab driver again. And I was a cab driver again. But I was so intricate in the story that it couldn't get cut out.
That's crazy, man. Another seminal episode, Mike Tyson.
Oh, my God. When he punched me?
He punched you.
I'm going to tell you 2 Mike Tyson stories. All right. The first one is Mike Tyson is the undisputed heavyweight champion in the fucking world. And we go to Vegas to do a week of shows where Mike Tyson is getting ready to fight Razor Ruddock for the second time. So we're at Mike Tyson's house. It's a fucking gorgeous house. It's his Vegas house, and it's right on the golf course. So we want to shoot on the golf course walking, and they couldn't find the fence. They couldn't find a lock. There's a padlock on the fence. They couldn't find the key. They opened the door so we can walk out. And so Mike goes, fuck it, let's just jump the fence. So the camera guy jumped the fence, and I jumped the fence, and Don King didn't jump the fence. And we're all over the fence, and we're like, okay, Dre jumped the fence. So it's like a 7-foot fence. So, you know, you got the little retaining wall. So Dre gets up, and he's up on the fence, and he's got one leg over, and he's scared to death. And Don King is trying to push him, but he's holding on to Mike Tyson's little, like he had like a little lion sculpture.
Like a little ornament on
on the top of the gate. And Dre comes over the fence and snaps the fucking ornament off of Mike Tyson's house, and he lost. You fat motherfucker, you son of a bitch. You fucking come over my house and break my shit. He said, Dre, I'm fucking flying you down here. I'm putting you up in this house with me. I'm going to work your fucking ass off. We're going to get you in some kind of shape. So we're shooting the show, and Dre is behind me with Mike Tyson with the microphone, and I'm in front of him about 5, maybe 3.5, 4 feet. And Ted says, Ed, when Dre asks Mike a question, I'm going to point to you, and I want you to lead to the commercials. So I'm like, fine, I'll do that. So we're walking, and Dre's like, Mike, so you're getting ready to fight Razor Ruddock for the second time. What is it about you, man? What's in your heart that makes you the way you are? Mike goes, Dre, I grew up crazy. I had a lisp, and all the kids used to poke fun of me. Cuts took me in and taught me how to box. And plus, I'm from Brooklyn. And you know how we get down in Brooklyn. And Ted points at me, and I go, we'll be back with more of your MTV Raps, man. But my man, I am Mike Tyson behind me with Dr. Dre like that. And I don't know what Mike talking about with all that old Brooklyn crap, because I'm from Queens, and ain't no punk ever had nothing from Brooklyn, ever had nothing from nobody from Queens. And he runs up behind me and go, oh, Ed, you think you funny? Bow! And his document is on video, and you see me just go down. Like all the air, he punched me like you punch one of your boys, like, hey, shut up.
But it's Mike Tyson.
And just everything left me, man. And I got up on one knee, and then I was dizzy, and I fell back down, and he stands over me and goes, you're gonna sue me, right? You're gonna sue me just like that fucking bitch Robin did, aren't you? You gonna sue me? I'm like, Mike, I'm not. Can I get some water, man? I ain't gonna sue you. You're my guy. Like, I wouldn't sue Mike Tyson, man.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, my other Mike Tyson story is there was a popular club in New York called Nell's.
Yes.
And Nell's used to pop. And I was going to Nell's one Thursday night. And when I was walking in, Mike Tyson was walking out. And he goes, hey, what's up, motherfucker? I'm like, Mike, what's good? What you doing? So I'm going to Nell's. What's popping, right? Nah, it's just bullshit tonight. Don't go on that shit. It's whack. Let's do something. I was like, well, what do you want to do? Let's go to pop. He said, matter of fact, let's go to Queens to the Jamaican shit. It's Thursday night where all the bad Jamaican bitches be. I'm like, you talking about the Q Club? He's like, yeah, Q Club is like the greatest reggae club in the history of all fucking New York City. I don't care what nobody from any other borough says. The Q Club was where every Jamaican artist and everybody on a Thursday came to hang out.
Shabba.
Right, Shabba, everybody. So we go to the Q Club. I'm like, Mike, my car's in the lot. I'm going to get my car. I'm going to follow you. No, fuck your car. Jump in the car with me. All right, fuck it. So I get in the car with Mike Tyson. He's fucking flying. We go to the Q Club.
Are you like holding on?
Yeah, I'm
like
holding on.
Knuckle?
We're in the Bentley, right? I'm in the blue Bentley. I'm holding on to the fucking Bentley Azure. We holding on to the shit. We get in front of the Q Club and we get out. Mike has on Fila's, Sergio Cicchini sweatsuit, and like a $70,000 mink jacket. The fucking hood was like this big, held on by one big ass button in the back. We get in front of the club. It's like 14 of us. We get in front of the club. I said, yo, my man, I got Mike Tyson. We're going to come in and do what we do. You can't, you ain't got no right. You can't come in, So we got a dress code. I said, motherfucker, that's Mike Tyson. Like, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the fucking world. What are you talking about? You really not going to let Mike Tyson in your fucking club because he got on sneakers? I got on sneakers. And I know it's Mike, but man, it's the dress code. You see the shit right here. Can't let him in. So some girl online goes, well, Mike, you need to learn how to dress when you come out. Why did she say that? You fucking bitch, shut the fuck up, mind your business. Then he hits me again. Ed, who's this bitch? Pa? I'm like, Mike, stop, man. Fucking arm is going to swell up. So he gets the owner. The owner comes downstairs and go, okay, listen, I don't want to disrupt what I got. I'll let y'all in, but go to the side. So we go to the side door. He lets all 14 of us in. As soon as we get in the fucking club, the DJ looks, turns the music on. Bomba Club! You ever been with somebody so famous that your fame is just meaningless?
Means nothing.
Right.
I wouldn't know about fame, though.
Right. That's Mike Tyson, Bomba Club, and that lover. They're going crazy. So Mike goes, hey, let's get some champagne. All right, let's get some champagne, Mike. How many bottles? Hey, 10, 15. I'm like, all right. So we get, this now is about 1:30, 2 o'clock. We drinking champagne. 2:30, Mike taps me again. Ed, what's up, Mike? Tell the DJ I'm buying the bar out to the club close. What? Yeah, I got it. To the club close. Club closes 4 o'clock. It's 2:30. You got the entire bar for everybody in the club.
That's a lot of motherfucking drinks.
Right. Into the club. Whatever they want. Champagne, whatever. Mike paying for the shit. I tell the DJ, he cut the music off. People start going crazy. Now it's 4 a.m. We stand there talking shit. It's 4:15, 4:30. I got to go home. We walk outside. Mike goes, hey, we had a fucking ball, didn't we? Yeah, Mike, but I got to go, man. My car's is in Manhattan. You got to drive me back to Manhattan and get me. Oh, Ed, I can't go back to Manhattan. I'm fucked up. I said, well, have one of your mans in them drive me or something, because I got to get home, man. I got my cars in now. Man, hey, fuck it. Don't your moms live around here or something? I'm like, yeah, my moms live on North Side. Here, take the car. Go ahead. I said, all right. So I take the Bentley halfway cocked, and I'm driving. I get to my mother's house. I park the Bentley in the front. I'm like, shit, this is a fucking Bentley Azure. I cannot leave this shit on the street. So we didn't have a garage in my backyard because it was rickety removed. My father tore it down, so the space was there. So I drive the car all the way in and park it. I go in the house. I'm in the basement. I'm asleep. My mother wakes me up. Whose fucking Bentley did you steal? And what the fuck? I'm like, Ma, that's Mike Tyson's car. He gonna come get it. Okay. Week go by. Nobody calls me.
Did you take it out for another spin?
I wasn't touching that shit. Because something happened to it. I can't afford it. 2 weeks go by. Nobody calls. 3 weeks go by. I still got the Bentley. Now I take it out. Nigga, look. I'm rolling. A month go by. Nobody calls me.
Oh, my God.
I got this car. I look at my pager. It goes off 911, 911, 911. I call the number back. It's John Horn, Mike's manager. Hey, it's John Horn. I said, what's up, John? I know who you are. Yeah, Mike's manager. I said, yeah, I know who you are, bro. What's good? By chance, do you happen to have one of Mike's cars? I go, yeah, I got the blue Bentley Azure. All right, wait, give me your address. I'm going to send somebody to get it. He sent somebody to get the car. Fast forward 20 years later, I'm in Tao in Vegas. I see Mike standing by the bar. We get, oh shit. They go, Mike. I go, Mike, motherfucker, you know. We talking. Mike goes, it's a beautiful life, right? I go, yeah, Mike, it's fucking crazy. People are walking up to me. He said, I can't believe people still love me like that. Like, I haven't been a world champion in a long time, and people walk up to me, hey, Mike. I see people saying, hey, Ed Lover, how you doing? You know, this shit is crazy, right? I never dreamed of nothing like this. I said, me either, Mike. He said, remember them times we used to have a good time, right? I said, yeah, we was in Versace. You bought me a bunch of shit I ain't want, and you punched me that time in Vegas. And he was like, remember that time we went to the Jamaican shit? Remember that time? I said, yeah, remember we got fucked up? I said, yeah, Mike, I was there. Remember that time we went outside and I gave you the Bentley and you took the Bentley? He said, yeah. I said, yeah. He said, I wanted you to have it. He said, I gave it to you. I liked you. You was my fucking guy. He said, that fucking bullshit John Horn tracked you down and got the car. If I ever see John Horn, if you listen to this podcast, you owe me $350,000 motherfucking dollars.
Y'all gotta add John Horn so he can hear this episode.
Plus
y'all
interest.
Gotta find John Horn and add him.
Plus interest, because that's what Mike
That's
did.
your car.
Mike liked people, and he would, Mike would give women cars.
Crazy.
He'd buy Audis and all kind of shit. He gave me the fucking car.
So my question is this, man. Yo MTV changes the DNA of MTV. Like, to the point where MTV is using hip hop not only to define the show, but itself. You down with MTV? Like, it jacks.
Yeah, me and Todd did that.
It jacks hip hop. It jacks your special sauce.
Yeah.
What happened to the show?
MTV started playing hip hop in regular rotation without Yo MTV Raps. And, this started happening around 93, 94. And then my manager at the time, named Charles Stetler, came to us and said, hey, this ain't going to last too much longer. And I was like, Charlie, what you talking about? Ratings are crazy. He's like, MTV, they not going to keep this show. They playing the hip hop in regular rotation. And Steve Smith from High 97 came and asked us, did we want to do morning radio? And I was like, I work 1 day a week. I ain't fucking doing morning radio.
At 6 o'clock? You got to be at 6 o'clock.
5 at that time. I'm like, 5 every day. I ain't doing that shit. And Charlie took a piece of paper and said, this is what Howard Stern makes every year. He said, now what you going to do after MTV? I said, I'm going to do radio. And that's how me and Dre got on High 97.
That's amazing. The last episode.
One of the most epic episodes ever.
Have y'all seen it? Y'all got to go online and find the clip of the very last
Method
episode.
Man, Redman, Ramen freestyling, Rakim, KRS-One, Surge, Chubb Rock, just a little Flavor Flav, just a little bit of fucking everybody that was just.
And you're rapping with these cats.
Yeah, and I just closed it out. I just caught the feeling at the time. I was like, listen, I gotta end this. You know, it was really heartbreaking because I would have loved to have had 89 to 99. If I could have got those 10 years, I would have been happy with it. But it ended in 96, and thank God I was at Hot 97 at the time.
We got to give him a round of applause for that chapter, because you really changed the game with that, man.
It was huge, man. We had Shaq on in his rookie year. You know, Michael Jordan was on with Fab. Like, we had Mel Gibson on, and we had all kind of people from every walk of life on the show.
How did fame change your life, man?
It made people different towards me. It didn't make me any difference. It did. I couldn't afford shit I couldn't afford before.
What would you buy, man?
I bought.
What's the dumbest rapper shit you bought, man?
I think I bought a Platinum E with diamonds on it. I don't even know what the fuck happened to that E either. But I wanted to remember that Yo MTV Raps existed for me and that I had a little bit of shot of fame. So the first thing that I did was I was in L.A. and I walked by a tattoo shop, and the first tattoo I ever got, it says Ed Lover across my chest. Because if I ever went back to being James Roberts and just having to get a job, I wanted to remember that at one point I was Ed Lover.
Wow.
You know, so that's the first thing I got. And then Fab had this big MTV ring.
Yes.
It was solid and it said MTV. And I was like, that's dope, but you ain't MTV. We Yo MTV Raps. Like,
right.
Our attitude with Ted and me and Dre and Fab and Peter was us against these motherfuckers. Right? So I went and found my jeweler on Jamaica Avenue in the Coliseum, and I made him make me the bubble in gold. A plate of the bubble, and the MTV is in diamonds. So that's what I did.
Yo, how is Dre right now, man?
Dre, unfortunately, is suffering really bad from diabetes. He's legally blind. And we're just trying to get him. We don't talk as much as we used to, which is one thing that really bothers me. There's something underlying between me and Dre that I don't even know what's our problem, but I love him. And I'm never going to stop loving him. I've been married to this dude for over 30 years now. You know what I mean? So it'll come together, man. It's like our two brothers, you always bicker about something. I don't know what the fuck we bickering about. I reached out to him the other day through T-Money, and T-Money came back and said, Dre said he's not ready to talk to you right now. I'm like, okay, I don't know if it's the illness or what's going on with him, but that's my brother, man. And it's no him, there's no me, no him. So, you know, he's always going to be like that. We'll get it together.
Yeah, please, man. You guys create history with Yo MTV, and then you hit Hot 97.
In the early days.
In the early days. So, you know, before Hot 97, the only cats that were playing hip-hop 24/7 was out in the Bay Area.
K-Day.
KMEL, Swinging Tech. You know, eventually.
They wasn't even 24/7 yet. It was Greg Mack and K-Day on the AM. They were the only station. There's an AM station, K-Day, out of L.A. that was 24 hours hip-hop. Greg Mack broke Eazy-E's Boys in the Hood and all of that stuff. He was really, really very responsible for NWA being able to go where they went to because K-Day played hip-hop. KMEL still played some stuff, but they had swaying them like on the weekends. Hot 97 revolutionized hip-hop radio. We're the first all hip-hop radio station in the country. When I got to Hot 97, we weren't all hip-hop yet. We would still dance a little bit. We still played funk that. You know, we played that. We played K7. Come, baby, baby, come. You know, that's my man. I'm so happy for him because the big movie out right now. Oh, the one Will Smith is in. Suicide Squad. And there's a big scene in there where they playing Come, baby, baby.
That's a check.
So big shout out. He's a big nice check coming to him for that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for him. So that's the kind of stuff that we played, and we had eventually and slowly moved on to being all hip hop.
How did you get to the morning slot? Because that was revolutionary.
Steve Smith came and said he needed somebody that had a great reputation in hip hop, and he wanted Dr. Dre and I to do it. Dre had did a Delphi radio, and then we were on BLS at one point on the weekends.
Right.
Dre and I had our own show, and that ended, and he asked us if we want to do it, and I said, hell no, I don't want to get up every morning and do no radio. And like I said, Charlie showed me what Howard Stern makes, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. You know, so we did.
Man, I used to be glued to the morning show every day. You guys were so spontaneous. Lisa, what was it? Lisa G, who's now was on the Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
To the point where y'all were the top radio morning slot. Besides Howard Stern, y'all were neck and neck.
Oh, we used to give him fever. There's a lot of times them books came out 12 plus and we had beat Howard Stern. And it's something to be the number one morning show in the #1 market in the country, but I never got gassed up for it. I remember when Hot 97's ratings used to come in, and they used to throw these big parties and stuff, and like in the conference room, and I'd be the one standing in the corner looking at everybody, and we #1, and they'd be like, "Hey, what's wrong?" And I'd be like, "You're #1 against who? You're the only hip hop station in the fucking city. You should be #1. You have no competition. Okay, if you're happy that you beat Z100 and you're happy that you beat Stern, it's fine. But this is a hip hop city, and there's nobody else doing it but you."
But that's bullshit because Stern had the city on lock.
Yeah, he did in morning. So it was an accomplishment for us. Right. I felt real good about it. But as an overall station, I was like, it's nobody else's. It's not real competition. It's like the Dream Team playing themselves in a scrimmage. We won. Yeah, but who you playing? Like a high school team? So for the station, or for the morning show overall to be #1 was a great accomplishment for me. But for the station to be #1, we were supposed to be #1.
Right, of course. Yo, internets, thanks again to Bevel supporting this week's episode of the Combat Jack Show. Bevel is the first and only shaving system created for people with coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. Invest in a razor and shaving system that does more than keep your hair groomed. Invest in something that'll take care of your skin. Go to getbevel.com and use promo code COMBAT to get 20% off your first month. Again, go to getbevel.com and use promo code COMBAT to get 20% off the first month of your Bevel subscription. Stop shaving like a wimp and shave like a boss. And now back to the show. So did y'all change the format of rap morning radio? Like, did y'all create that template?
Yeah, it wasn't there. There was nobody else doing all hip hop morning radio the way we did morning radio. And then the Baker Boys in LA, they was doing like the afternoons and the evenings. They had a roll call. And Steve gave it to us, and I took that shit and flipped it and ran with it.
The roll call was crazy.
Oh, man. My God. That "What's up, y'all? What you got to say? Who's on the mic with that?" Lisa and Dre was fucking, it was just, this shit took the world by storm, man. But I always give the Baker Boys props because we didn't invent it. They did.
Right.
You know?
Over the years, man, there's been a lot of changes with Hot 97, man. What was your feeling when you saw, like, the shift in tides, like from y'all to like Star and Buck Wild? Like, how was that transition?
It was, to me, it was shock radio.
Right.
I'm taking nothing away from Star.
Right.
What he does, he does best.
Brilliant
he's brilliant
mind.
What he does. You know what I mean? But I'm a guy that I have my lane, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to change what I do to try to be popular with what everybody else is doing. You just got to be yourself. You know what I mean? So when that happened, I was like, at some point, he's going to step over the line, and he did.
And in rap, we don't take that shit.
Right.
We really don't. Howard could do that shit all day. Ain't nobody stepping to Howard.
Right. It's different because Howard is self-deprecating.
Yes.
You know, he'll talk about himself and how small his dick is and
how big his nose is.
Yeah, and he can't get it up. And he'll say he don't understand rap and the rap shit is trash and all that. But when you start putting people's personal business out in the street, that's a whole different ball game right there.
So did hip hop radio, man, in a sense, become meaner?
Yeah. Yeah, it became more aggressive and it became meaner and it became, let me get ratings by throwing somebody else under the bus. I never threw anybody under the bus. I tried to bring that feeling to the masses. I wanted you to wake up and laugh. I didn't want you to wake up and be mad at some fucking body.
Yo, how are you so funny?
I was a class clown.
Okay.
I remember my high school teacher, my earth science teacher telling me, "James, you're nothing more than an unemployed clown." And I was like, really? And
damn.
Yeah, when I got my first big check from MTV, I cashed it and I came back to the school and he was like, "Oh, look, one of my former students had a lover from your," like he was really behind me. I threw my money on the desk and said, "Motherfucker, I'm an employed clown now. What?" I took my money and walked out. Yeah.
Yo, man,
it was always in me, man.
Right.
Some people call it jonesing. Some people, where we're from, it's called snapping.
Yes.
That's always what I did. It was always going on in school. So I was very skinny. My mother called me 6 o'clock. I'm a little heavier than I was then. When we first started on MTV, I had a 29-inch waist, 28, 29.
Ooh.
Right? So my mother called me 6 o'clock because I was straight up and down. But when you growing up, and my nose is this size, was the same size when I was fucking 7. You know what I mean? So you got this big bulbous nose on your face and you growing up, people are going to go right at you. in school. Hey, big nose motherfucker. So what I did was learn all the nose jokes. So I'd say it before you can say it. Then I take your power away. Then I tear your ass to shreds. So when you first start going, all right, I was like, yeah, okay, I got a big nose. Yeah. My nose is so big, I got to use a fucking sheet to blow it. Yeah, I heard it. My nose so big, I got to use I can pick my nose using boxing gloves. Yeah, I heard all of that. What you got now? What about your mother in a fucking wooden leg with the fucking woodpecker on it? What about that? Now, then, you know, my mother, niggas want to fight about their mom. Right. So it was just snapping and snapping and snapping and snapping and snapping, eventually led when I was on Hot 97 to a night at Caroline's and me hosting and Dre on the turntables. And from that, it just led to me wasting time between acts and just developing my own routines. And then it just led to me going out on the road as a stand-up comedian. And I'm in Peoria coming up, and then I got the Houston Improv, and then the Tom Joyner joint. I'm doing stand-up there. So, you know, that's what I do.
What's your first love? Is it music? Is it television?
It's hip-hop.
It's hip-hop.
Second is comedy. That's therapy. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say when you're on the stage. Yeah. We used to sneak in my mother's room and take the Richard Pryor and Red Fox albums
Which is excellent training.
Yeah, and listen to them. And that's, you know, Richard and Eddie and all of these guys are my idols. So I just think it was just a natural transition for me to be a stand-up.
You got something upcoming with Oprah.
Yeah.
What is that about?
I was the first and only person to ever interview Oprah Winfrey on terrestrial radio. Oprah came when I was on Power 105, and I had Jamie Foxx on. I said, Jamie, you cool with Oprah, right? He said, yeah. I said, Oprah got this reputation that she don't like hip-hop. Should tell her to roll through, you know, roll up. If she in the city, roll up. She always welcome. So Jamie and Gayle King and Oprah are real cool, and he told her. So she was doing the Legends Ball, and Gayle and Oprah was in the car. And Gayle said, Oprah, we need to roll up on Ed Lover. Ed Lover is Jamie Foxx's friend. He's a great guy. We should roll up. And Oprah was like, you think we should roll up to Power 105? I said, yeah, let's roll up. And I was in the afternoons at the time. Star was doing mornings. They had tried to put Star and I together. I was like, two alpha males.
Did y'all try it?
No, it wasn't going to work.
I can't even imagine
Star's alpha, I'm alpha. Who's going to lead?
Right.
I'm used to leading. He's going to want to lead.
Right.
I'm not, you know, buck wild.
Right.
Not doing that. So I moved to, God bless him, but I wasn't going to do it. So I moved to afternoons, kept my same money. I don't care. And I only got to get up in the morning. I worked fucking 4 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever,
That's
you know,
sweet.
so I was cool with it. And, my cousin, unfortunately, had gotten murdered in the Bronx, and his wake was that night. So I asked to leave early, and I was in my car. And when my assistant was driving, they called me and said, you got to get back to the station. Oprah Winfrey's here looking for you. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Hung the phone up. And they called back and said, Ed, for real, Oprah is here looking for you. So I told them, stop. I jumped out the car, ran back, and she was there. And she was there. Now, you're talking about a billionaire, Oprah Winfrey.
Pulling up.
All she had was Gayle, her director of publicity, and one security guy with her upstairs and one guy waiting down. I've sat there when 50 Cent came in with 14 motherfuckers, you know.
50 had to have.
Yeah, we had to at that
14
time.
motherfuckers up.
You know, Game come through, we got 1,000 niggas, and Oprah come with 3 people. And she's worth billions. You know, and I had her on the radio, so we developed this relationship.
Now, didn't y'all start off a little
I asked her about hip-hop.
Right.
And she was like, well, you ain't got to bitch and hold me to death. And I was like, did you just say bitch on my show? She was like, yeah, I did. And we came to a common chord. And then when she came back, she did something in Madison Square Garden, and she let us broadcast live from there. Invited my mom and my aunt, my mother-in-law, and everybody. And she actually came downstairs to see me while we were broadcasting down there, and took pictures and sat my mom and them up in the front. And then when they aired it, she was like, I remember the show. She's like, we still have time left. Well, let's talk about Ed Lover. And her and Gayle were talking about me on the Oprah Winfrey show. Shout out to Ed Lover. Oprah did a roll up.
Crazy.
Yeah, Oprah did a roll up. Yeah, we went to say Ed Lover. Hi, Ed Lover. I love Ed Lover. And then, this is all the time we got. Shout out to Ed Lover. Bye. And for 3 weeks, I wish she would have told me she was doing this shit, because I would have wrote a book in 3 weeks. Because for the 3 weeks after she said my name, I was the most Googled name in America.
That's crazy.
White women was going, who the fuck is Ed Lover? And why does Oprah love him? I wish I would have had the book. It's Ed Lover's self-help book. I'd have sold like 80 million of them shits. So we've always had a good relationship. And you know, when people know you know Ed, you know how the hood is. You know, nigga, ask Oprah. I'm not calling Oprah, asking Oprah shit. You know, tell Oprah the motherfuckers over here is hungry. Worse than, you remember when she did the shit for the girls in Africa?
Yeah.
Tell her the hood more hungry than the motherfucking bitches in Africa. I'm like, I'm not that kind of person that bugs people. If I know you, if I see you, we cool. I don't call Oprah for nothing. And then when she did the Where Are They Now, she was like, I haven't heard from Ed in a while. I wonder what he's up to. So August 27th on the OWN network, I'm featured on the Where Are They Now from Oprah.
How y'all doing out there, man? Because we've been talking for a while. There's people standing back there. Y'all got time for like about 5 more minutes? Y'all good? I love y'all, Atlanta. You still on the radio, man?
Yeah, the Ed Lover Show on Boom 1029, based out of Atlanta. All classic hip hop and R&B. And big shout out to my executive producer, Krista Hayes, is here tonight. And we're in 10 markets right now and growing every day. And it's beautiful.
How's it feel, man, after all these years?
It feels great because Power 105 fired my motherfucking ass. So this comeback.
Why'd they fire you?
They fired me. They just said that they wanted to go in a different direction, meant they wanted to go younger. And I remember having these conversations with Cat like Jack, who's the program director. We got to get younger. We got to get younger. I said, Jack, I've been in this business for a long time. They can Google my age. It's nothing that I can do about it. And at first, the only problem I had with them letting me go, and I understand that things happen and people move in different directions and this is business, is the way they did it. It's like I got called into his office with a meeting and the head of HR was there and they walked me out of the building. I put that fucking station on my back. When they signed on, I was there when they flipped the switch from Jammin' 105 to Power 105. I was there taking calls. I gave Power 105.1 credibility. When Dre and I came back and got back on the Power 105.1, that was all in the fucking newspaper. That gave them credibility. For me to do what I did, never been less than number 5 in the market, always was 1, 2, or 3. It's documented. You can look it up. My morning show never dropped under number 5 for 8 years. And for you not to allow me to say goodbye to my audience and to just walk me out the building, to me was disrespectful. And I'm going to say this, and I don't give a fuck who likes it and who doesn't. Why is Elvis Duran can still talk to 12 plus people and he's in his 50s, but I can't talk to a hip hop audience because I'm 40 something years old? You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing more than that. And that fact that the economy had changed and I was making $800,000 a fucking year and they wanted to save that money. That's all it was. But I don't even mind that. It's just, you understand that there's a ceiling for black people in America. And you understand that you're at the beck and call of some people who really don't know fucking hip hop. But if you would have allowed me to at least say goodbye to the audience and to thank the people in New York that had my back, all of those years, I would have felt better than you putting me out of the building like a common piece of trash.
You touch upon an important point that men of a certain age in hip-hop feel, and that's how the game is really trying to push us out.
Yeah.
The game is trying to push us out. Like, what the fuck else are we going to do? This is all I know.
I don't understand why this is the only music that doesn't embrace the elders. Like, you'll see Eric Clapton do a show at Madison Square Garden, and at the time, I remember he sold out, and they were talking about it on the news and everything, and he was like, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring out a man that inspired me to play guitar the way I do. Blues legend Mr. B.B. King. And B.B. King was in his, like, late 70s, early 80s, and half the audience might not have known who B.B. King was, but he introduced them to B.B. King. I remember talking to Kendrick Lamar when I was at Sirius XM, and I said, who inspired you? And he said, you know, when my father brought me home from the hospital to Big Daddy Kane. And my thought was, well, do a record with Big Daddy Kane. Introduce Kane to your audience. A$AP Rocky's name is Rakim.
After Rakim.
His mother named him after Rakim. So if that's your inspiration and that's the people that gave you, reach back and introduce them to your audience so we can continue this music. Because one thing that I preach to all young artists, if God bless you, you're going to be old one day. And people ain't going to want fun. And then how you going to feel? Like, I just saw young, what's his name? Little Yachty, Young Yachty? No, it's Yachty. It was Yachty. It was Yachty. He did an interview and he was telling the old rappers, y'all need to shut the fuck up. I don't need a hot 16. If I want to make a record about hat and it's turned up, then that's just what it is. And yeah, I agree with it. But if you want to go down as one of the greatest that ever did it, you better have a hot 16.
Yes.
You better have a hot 36.
Yes.
You better have a hot 48.
Yes.
Like, I understand that hip hop changed, and there's a lot of shit that I like. Like, you know, there's a lot of shit. I fucking love Future, you know, wiggy. You know, I like to get down too. You know what I mean? But I don't like all of it, but I'm not going to down it because you have to let them have their stars. When we first started doing hip hop, my father used to, what the fuck is this? Dang bullshit. That ain't music. So we can't turn around and do it to the next generation. But they
can't do it to us.
But they can't do it to us.
They can't do it to us.
We can't keep pushing in their face. Oh, the '90s was the greatest shit ever. Like, yeah, we know, and we know it was the most innovative. But what I would say to the young artists today is, be who you are. The problem that us old heads have with hip hop is you guys are just following whatever the fuck is hot. Like, whoever's the hot producer, you jump on his dick to get a beat and he's all fucking watered down and every record starts sounding the same. The guys that are really doing it, the motherfuckers that are really getting it, the J. Coles and the Kendricks and Rhapsody and 3D Na'Tee, these are spitters. And they are selling the fuck out theaters all around the country because they are different. Right. And they don't sound like nobody else. So if I had to give them advice, and my son is into hip hop heavy and he likes Logic and he likes Chance the Rapper. I think Chance the Rapper is fucking amazing. I think Logic is fucking amazing. Like these young dudes, J. Cole, I honestly believe, and Kristen and I argue about it all the time, my executive producer, because she's a fucking Drake's baby mother that just haven't had a baby. I think Drake is going to be the greatest that's ever done it.
He's closing in on Jay.
Yeah,
he's closing in on Jay-Z.
Tell you why. Because, now I'm going to tell you why. The motherfucker...
Wait, y'all got to listen. Don't come with... Come on, son. Come on, son.
Not as far as lyricism. Okay, but the greatest, the most profitable artist that ever did it is going to be Drake. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me talk. I'm going to tell you why. He's done... First of all, he has what every rapper is supposed to have. He has the presence. He has the voice. He can really spit when he wants to. He proved that when Meek jumped out on him. Okay? Women want to be with him. Guys want to be like him. Say whatever the fuck you want to say. Drake changed the game. He made motherfuckers get in their feelings again. Now you have all of these guys singing about how much, oh, I love you. All that started when Drake started doing that. Think about this. Tupac died early before really tapping into what he was as an actor. If Drake steps out as an actor and does the right shit, it's over. And that's why he's going to be the greatest. Because he can take what Tupac started as an actor and go to the next level. Don't be surprised in the next 10 years if Drake is making $20 million a flick because he started as an actor.
So he's focused on Jay-Z's legacy and Fresh Prince's legacy.
Absolutely. Did you see him on Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
He can fucking act.
He's an actor.
Mark my words. Mark my words. I mean, he's like, hey, Lover said that shit on Combat Jack. Why? He handled his business. He's already proven that he's not to be fucked with in a battle.
Yes.
He's already proven that.
I mean, I put it out there. The battle that I want to see is Kendrick versus Drake. Listen, because everybody was talking about how Meek was that battle rapper, right? At the end of the day, Kendrick will rap circles around Drake, but when Drake drops that hot record, it's a rap. That's my vote.
There's a difference between being able to rap crazy and then be able to drop a record that's a battle record, it becomes a club hit.
Yes.
And that's what he did.
Very few people could do that.
Oh yeah, there ain't a lot of people that can do that.
Yeah.
He hit that in the bag to bag. And we all know the lyrics to that shit. Not a world tour, your girl's tour. Like, god damn.
Chicken fingers turned to Twitter fingers.
Yeah, he bodied the nigga. It was equivalent to the first time we heard Takeover.
Oh my god.
You know, X Nas, he don't want it with Hov. No. Yeah, the bridge. I tell KRS-One all the time. I fucking hated you when you made the bridges over. Why you had to throw the entire borough of Queens under the bus? Because you got problems with Shan.
Queens is always faking it.
Shan don't represent all of us. Yeah, Queens is always faking it. They're red alert. Yeah, you motherfuckers.
Yo, listen, man. You've had an illustrious career. And it's picking up even more because people are now starting to come around and appreciating and valuing the premium that we have, that we bring to the table. People like you who've survived so many eras. It's a premium. Talk about, and you don't see it that much right now in media. You don't see it, you don't hear it that much in radio, but talk about the responsibility in your voice. Like how you have to be responsible.
You have to. I'm so proud of Jay-Z right now. I'm so proud of Hov. What Hov did by making the record that he made is to shed light on the Black Lives Matter movement. He was always quietly giving money out to people without looking for fanfare, but I needed him to step up and say something. And it's powerful. And what Beyonce did when she stepped out and did a video is powerful. She took a lot of flack for it, but fuck it. We don't need to ask white people permission to take care of ourselves. This is our lives. A lot of white people, and I'm not saying all, and I'm quite sure you have a lot of white fans that listen to it, and they may be liberal-minded people that understand where we're coming from. But the majority of white America look at us through binoculars. If they don't have to fuck with us, they don't fuck with us. But on the other side, we can't do it because you turn on the TV and there's white people on commercials and white people in this. And if there's a new sitcom on, it's the one black frame. You know, it's never even. And you go to the movies and, you know, The Departed came out and Anthony Anderson was in it. And I didn't know it till I went to the fucking theater because they don't put us in the trailer, not understanding if you cut the trailer for Anthony Anderson friends, all the black people go see it because we love Anthony Anderson. You know, we didn't know Taraji was in The Curious Case of Benjamin Buttons until the shit came out. She wasn't in the trailer. So our lives is a lot different. And for our voices, we have to use our voices to better the country. We have to. It's a responsibility of you. And I don't give a fuck how much money you have. You have to use your voice to better the community. Because you know what'll happen? I remember one time they asked Young Thug something about it. He was like, man, we just trying to get high and smoke our shit. We don't give a fuck about that. We getting paper. When they kill your motherfucking brother, then you're going to want everybody to step up and say stop the violence and stop police violence and Black Lives Matter. Because it'll get to you. You can't find a gate tall enough and long enough and big enough and your house can be 325,000 square feet. It affects you. Because one day you're going to pop out your car and go to the ATM and somebody from the lower class going to stick that pistol in your face and take your shit. So if you don't speak up for us now, if we don't stand together and speak up for each other, then we're just doomed to be back into slavery sooner or later. Dr. King did it, and he ain't have to do it. And if anybody lives in Atlanta where we're doing this from right now, take a trip down and look at where Dr. King lived at in Sweet Auburn. He grew up middle class America. He had a washing machine in his fucking house when there was shotgun houses across the street. He was a Morehouse man. He was on his way to, his father had one of the biggest churches in Atlanta. He didn't have to give a fuck about people who are less than him. So how do we make money off of hip hop, which is the audience supporting you? How do we make money and live good and put our children through college and drive $450,000 Maybachs and fly private and not give a fuck about that person who's out here living this shit every day? It's your responsibility, so I do it.